Hello，大家好，欢迎大家来到读书时间。我们今天继续读《Soft Hearts: A Rett Swinson Mystery》这本书。好，我们现在开始。I considered the burgeoning. What is burgeoning? Considered burgeoning. Back ladylike cart. Thank you, Margaret. Humiliating as that was, it was still my least painful clothes shopping experience ever. Margaret grunted acknowledgement and looked at her phone. I've got to rush. Gail Norris and I are doing lunch. Then we are spending the afternoon looking at nothing but towel racks. Really? I said, surprised. For their Woodmont home. No, for the one on Falls Lake. They have a closing date for next week. Burgeoning, beginning to grow or increase rapidly. She dug up my old coat and signed on the dotted line. Interesting, I said. If you say so. As she went out the door, Margaret announced with her signature sarcasm. I can't wait to record today's thrilling episode in my diary. The second she was gone, I pulled out my phone. I browsed and saw that the Norris Woodmont home was still listed for sale on the couple's website. Really curious now, I texted Gail to verify that their home was still available. It is, she texted back. Great, I responded. I might know someone who is interested. I'll let you know. I thought about everything the couple had had said when Darryl and I interrogated them the morning after the murder. No one will want to move here now. The downtown homeless population. Guess our move to Falls Lake will have to wait. Brad. In short, all is us. Great sorrow or distress. Yep, it seemed that Wanda's death had given them the confidence to pull the trigger on their forever home after all. I just returned to the Penn's station when I received a surprise customer, Otis Jones' granddaughter, Augusta. My grandfather said I might find you here, she said. You got time to talk? She seemed upset about something, and I worried that something was me. We hadn't exactly hit it off the first time we'd met. What's on your mind? Can we go somewhere more private than this? I suggested the break room, though just a glorified storage area. Glorified. It did feature a coffee maker perpetually full thanks to Jasmine the coffee fairy. August chose a mug that read, "I'm not a grump. I'm just surrounded by nincompoops. Nincompoops. Nincompoop. A stupid or silly person. Okay, nincompoop. Nincompoops. Mine was a church mug. What happens at Sunday school prays at Sunday school. So, what can I help you with? I asked. After we'd taken seats at the only table, they arrested my cousin Trent yesterday. He says they are trying to pin that murder on him. Had you heard about that? I just found out, I said. But I probably don't know much more than you do. You know, the detective that's investigating Pops said he saw you guys talking the other day. Otis must have seen us together in front of Lydia's house as he drove away so abruptly. I said, all I heard was Trent was charged with possession of drugs. Trent doesn't do or sell drugs. He was holding some pills for one of his friends. You have to admit, that's one of the oldest lines in the book. With Trent, it's true. He's never cared about any of that gambler stuff. Gambler. He has a future planned. He wants to go to college for acting. The drug charges are just an excuse to hold Trent until they can pin that murder on him. What do you want me to do? Tell them they've got the wrong person. I don't think anyone is going to listen to me. You got more power than you think. Most of white folks do. I shook my head. They are going to look at the evidence. If there isn't any evidence tying Trent to the crime scene, they cannot indict him. Indict. Formally cause or charge with a crime. Indict. Yeah, but they are telling Trent that Pops is hiding evidence and is engaged in a cover-up. That Trent needs to come clean so as not to drag Otis into this. My grandfather doesn't have time for such nonsense. All he cares about is his art. He deserves to be left alone. Has he told you that he's feeling targeted? I asked. Otis Jones talk about these feelings? Please, that man is so stoic. A person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaint. A member of the ancient philosophical school of Stoic. You could hit his toe with a hammer and he'd ask you if your wrist hurt. No, he he hasn't said anything, but I know he's looking over his shoulder. So you came to me when I asked him about you the other the other day. He said that you are investigating this case too. I thought if I approached you, you might at least lend insight. He also said you were a nice person. I felt flattered, but it wasn't clear that August thought me nice. Not yet. I would reveal what I felt I could. When a case lacks a prime suspect, I attempted minor characters go under suspicion. At least that's what I've gathered. I'm new to this sort of thing. All of us in Woodman are new to this sort of thing. Right. You live in a nice neighborhood, she said, in acting a southern white accent. This sort of thing is more suited for the black part of town. I don't see why anyone deserves to get used to the type of crime, I said. Mm-hmm. He said non-committally and took a sip of her coffee. It was tempting to write off Augusta as an angry black woman. Who just liked the fight. Why couldn't Otis' granddaughter be sweet and accommodating like Jasmine? After all, a person could catch more flies with honey than the vinegar. Than with vinegar. White folks didn't like feeling accused of being racist all the time. But these days I could identify with an angry female. Augusta's outrage was real. Could I justify my own ire? Could I justify my own ire if I couldn't acknowledge that she might have a right to hers? Could I justify my own ire if I couldn't acknowledge that she might have a right to hers? I didn't live inside her skin. If I did, I might be acting the same way. Besides, it was a much more uncomfortable possibility that Augusta was fighting against that of her cousin being sent to prison. If I was going to get to the bottom of this case, I needed to make a real connection with Trent's family. Tell me more about yourself, Augusta. Otis said you were named after 2 colleges. Was he just kidding? No, he's right. My first name is Augusta, for Saint Augustine, and my middle name is Shaw, she said distractedly. Both St. Augustine's University and Shaw University were historically black colleges based in Raleigh. 好，谢谢大家，我们今天先读到这里吧，那我们下次再见了，拜拜。